Hello and welcome to Not Just Books, the library's monthly show about what is happening in your world and at the Williamson County Public Library. My name is Dolores Greenwald and I'm the director. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have some marvelous guests and you will not want to miss 1 second. In our What's Hot in Books segment, we'll be talking with amazing children's staff employee Stacy Parish. We will be discussing Lewis Carroll's birthday, so stay tuned for this important date. In our Your World segment, we'll be discussing the new happenings at Columbia State Community College with Development Officer Chris Henson. Exciting things are going on at Columbia State. In our Save the Date portion of the program, we will be speaking with Phillip McAndrew, branch manager at our Fairview Branch Library. Phillip will be talking about the library expansion and story times, so listen up, parents. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll be right back with our Save the Date guests. Did you know that a writer's critique groups meet at the main library on the first and third Saturdays of each month from 10:30 until noon to provide adult authors with serious, courteous critiques of their work? Ask at the checkout desk for location.
Where can I find out about the Venus flytrap?
Where can I research information on my business competitors?
What is the safety record on the car I want?
Where can I research careers?
Where?
I'm all shook up.
The Tennessee Electronic Library. That's where. And it's free to everyone in our state. Now go to your public library and find out how you can log on and get your password to a world of information just for living in our state. You can probably even figure out the password just by listening to my voice.
I'm all shook up.
Hello and welcome back. In our Save the Date segment, I'm pleased to welcome Phillip McAndrew here with us today. He's branch manager at our Fairview Branch location. And thanks, Phillip, for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You've been here before as a young adult librarian, and now you're here as a branch manager. So has that been a big change for you?
It has been. It's been enjoyable. Fairview is fantastic. It's a beautiful place in Williamson County. Highly recommend stopping by or visiting. But going from young adult to branch manager, there's a lot of different things involved. I will say this, though, we have added a small young adult and graphic novel room to our branch. So I encourage all teens to stop by.
Yeah. Well, besides the addition that you have made, what else is going on at Fairview?
Well, we are getting a new addition. We're going to have some building going on there, hopefully in the next few months. It's been approved and everything's in order. We're going to expand and have a very nice community room, which is greatly needed out in Fairview. It'll be the biggest community room out there that organizations and people can use. So that will expand. It'll free up a little shelf space, and we are growing out there.
That's terrific. That's terrific. And we're hoping that it will start soon. The bids have went out and been awarded. So we're just waiting now for the weather and the groundbreaking.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we may wait a while for that weather, let me tell you. So.
Tell us about the programs. Your story times have been really popular.
They have been, and we just actually started toddler time once a month, and that was incredibly popular. We have story time once a week, and that is a steady flow of 3 to 5 year olds in there.
Now, what day of the week do you do these?
That's on Wednesday.
On Wednesday
And
mornings?
on Friday is our toddler time once a month. We also have Lego. We have a Lego club, and we're going to have a bunch of other, we hope to get an art instruction class going on in the spring. And yeah.
Now that would be for adults or for kids?
Right now we're looking at both to see who would come in. Probably more teens up to adults, but we'll see who signs up for it.
Okay. You've got a terrific friends group.
They're beyond terrific, Dolores. They are dedicated and they love the library. I mean, all our patrons do. It's an institution out there. But the Friends group, they're fantastic.
Very passionate.
They are, and they help raise money. And in addition to the Friends group, the Fernvale Community Association recently donated money to the Friends group, And they raised the money by doing their annual polar plunge.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yes, and it was on January 1st. It was at Whippoorwill Camp, and it was fantastic. About 20 people plunged. I was unable to plunge that day, but if I'm in the country next year, I'll plunge. And it was fantastic. It was very generous, and we just really are grateful for all the people out there.
Now, is that the first time they had done that, or is that?
Well, that's the 4th year they've done the plunge.
year?
The first year they donated the money to the Friends.
Oh, that's awesome. And they were really helpful in getting the expansion started, and very passionate and interested about getting more room for the library and getting more people in. It's just a terrific group.
They are. They're fantastic.
What are your branch hours in case people want to come visit?
We're open Tuesday through Saturday, so we're closed on Sunday and Monday. Tuesday and Thursday we are open from 9 until 7. And then Wednesday and Friday we're open from 9 to 5:30, and Saturday we're open 9 to 5.
And you also have a very active summer reading program.
The summer reading program is incredibly popular, and we've already booked some of our events for that, some of the performers. We get sometimes to some of the more popular ones, like the animal guy and the magician. We get 150 to 200 people out there, and it's insane, and the kids love it, and the patrons love it. So we try to get between 6 and 8 performers there during the summer reading. We have a lot of sign-ups, and so it's a real event. Yeah.
And the Library Foundation helps provide money, but also your local Friends group at Fairview helps with paying for performers as well.
They're very generous, and they have 2 book sales also during the year, and they raise a lot of money for us, and they're just very active, very generous. Yeah.
So, and our website is wcpltn.org. If you want to find out more about what's going on at Fairview or some of the other branches. Sometimes it's very difficult to bring branch folks out because they're always busy with story times and what have you. So I was glad you were able to join us today.
Well, thank you. One thing I learned is there's always something to do at the branch. So it's great. And thank you for having me, Dolores.
Well, thanks for coming, and we'll be right back. Did you know that the library has a local author's bibliography on its website at wcpltn.org? All Williamson County authors are invited to join the ranks of distinguished authors included in this online resource. And the requirements are simple. Publish a book or anthology, live in Williamson County for at least 1 year, or have formerly resided in Williamson County, and complete the questionnaire. The library requests a copy of your book for its local author collection and a second copy for circulating. For additional information, contact the library at 615-595-1242, extension 2, or send an email to ref@williamson-tn.org. Hello and welcome back. In our Your World segment, I'm honored to have Chris Henson here. He's our development officer with Columbia State Community College, and he's been gracious enough to come and speak to us about the new Williamson campus and their efforts to get that going, and we're glad to have him back. Thanks so much for joining us today, Chris.
Dolores, thanks for having me.
What's the latest with the Williamson campaign?
Wow, it's moving. I mean, it's one of those things that honestly, if you get the opportunity to drive by, it's changing daily, and that's
terrific.
And that's the exciting part at this point is, you know, you can see the change, and you can see the steel going up. We've actually got steel up in 2 of our buildings, and we're getting ready to start our administration building. And that kind of leads into part of what I want to talk to you about today.
Okay. And go right ahead.
We're looking at starting the steel on our administration building, which will lead to a topping out ceremony, which is basically the last piece of steel we put up before we start putting the walls and the roofs on.
That's terrific. And where? How are you celebrating that?
We are actually going to do a beam tour.
Okay.
It started yesterday on our Columbia campus with our convocation, and then we will be bringing it to Williamson County. We'll have it at our Williamson County campus on the 20th and the 21st, and we want the public to come out and join us, sign. It's actually going to be in the campus, so if you haven't been there, you get to see our old campus. And then we will have it on the 22nd at the Williamson Chamber, their monthly luncheon at Embassy Suites, and that'll be from about 11 to 1:30. We'll have it out there. And then on the 30th, we're going to have it here at the Williamson Administrative Complex for the public roundtable from about 7 to 7:30, and then we're going to hustle it back down to Columbia, where we have a legislative breakfast on that campus.
Now your buildings, because you're building it kind of piecemeal, is that right? You're building one section of the campus and then going to add on to it later, or
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
the way it's going to go?
Yes, ma'am. We're building the first phase, which will be 3 buildings. It'll be a science and technology building, a administrative building, and it'll have our English, actually it'll have, the next building will also house some of our more special programs like our film crew technology and our commercial entertainment also.
And is your nursing program that you have at Columbia State's very popular?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what, you have an RN program there? It's a 2-year?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. And that program will be housed in our science technology building, and it'll give us the opportunity to give them some new resources, a lot better teaching environment. But the long-term plan is to actually have a health sciences building that'll be dedicated to just our health sciences. But right now we're going to be in a situation that we're going to be increasing our enrollment from probably 500 to 1,000 students in just this phase.
Wow.
With the ability to build out to about 6,000 students when it's done.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Well, tell us a little bit about the foundation and what the foundation's doing.
Well, the foundation, and we're very busy in everything that's going on at the school. You know, our main purpose is to help support the school, the programs, scholarships. So that's always our ongoing focus, is to constantly raise money to help support those efforts. We've got the Williamson campus going on in that campaign, and we're getting ready and preparing for the 50th, because believe it or not, Columbia State's going to be heading into our 50th year.
Wow.
Starting in August.
Wow. What kind of do you know yet what kind of programs you're going to be having?
It's going to be kind of a year-long program.
Okay.
You know, we're going to kick it off with a kind of a kickoff celebration. And from there, there'll be things throughout the year as we move through that 50th year to celebrate. And as those events come, we'll definitely be getting them out to the public. But we're really excited about the kickoff celebration.
Well, tell what's the Columbia State's website, because they can keep up with what's happening there too.
It is columbiastate.edu. And you can find anything there, especially if you want to find out more about the Williamson campus. When you go to the website, on the left there's a picture of the new campus, and it says more information. If you click there, it'll take you to a campaign website, and you can find pictures, you can find construction update, you can see drawings of the buildings, we've got all the information there.
I noticed yesterday when I was looking at the website, there's even naming opportunities.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's terrific.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
We look forward to people being a part of it. I mean, this is truly an opportunity to put your name on a building that's going to be there for a long, long time, and to be a part of history.
You guys are going to be represented at the Chamber soon, you were telling us. How important is education to a community, you think?
Well, anybody in Williamson County understands what it's done for this community. I personally, it's part of the reason I live in Williamson County. When we moved to Middle Tennessee, we looked around, and education was very important because I've got an 8-year-old daughter, and she loves it. But it is the building blocks of a community, and that's part of the role we serve. And as we see going forward, it's going to be a bigger part every day.
I think we're very fortunate here in Williamson County that we have a great public school system. I think a lot of folks here realize how important education is, and I think we're very fortunate because of that.
You know, the one thing that I find really exciting is how well all the different organizations work together. For us, dual enrollment is very big in Williamson County, and it's an opportunity to work with the public school systems and other even homeschoolers for that. And you know, we just last year created the WIT, the Williamson Informational Technology Program.
Okay.
That's
that's
housed
cool.
at Centennial.
That's cool.
So we're always constantly looking for opportunities to reach out and work with the community.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
And come back soon and tell us again about what's going on at Columbia State. I always enjoy it.
Anytime you have me, I'll come.
Thank you so much. We'll
Thank
be
you.
right back. Did you know the library recognizes pioneer families? Williamson County celebrated in 1999 the 200th anniversary of its formation. In honor of this celebration, the Williamson County Public Library proudly offers a commemorative Pioneer Family of Williamson County, Tennessee certificate to eligible persons. Anyone directly descended from a pre-1850 pioneer of the county is welcome to apply for this permanent remembrance of his or her family history. The data furnished by applicants as proof of lineage will become a valuable addition to the library's genealogy and local collection. The family records are a resource for other historians and genealogists and will supplement the published histories of our county. Pioneer family records are available for research in the Special Collections Department during business hours Tuesday through Thursday, 9 a.m. through 5:30 p.m. The Pioneer Families Heritage Program has received over 700 applications honoring more than 200 Williamson County pioneers since its inception. The library welcomes your participation in this program. For more information, call our Special Collections Department at 615-595-1246.
What should I make my password? Oh, I know. I'll make my password password. Passwords should be unique, private, non-personal, and secure. Use more than one word, use different character classes, use symbols and numbers, and use multiple passwords for different sites. And always remember never to share your passwords.
Hello and welcome back. In our What's Hot in Books segment, I'm happy to have Stacy Parish with us. Stacy is amazing, and she's one of our hard-working Children's Department employees. And she's going to be talking to us about the author Lewis Carroll, who has a birthday this month. Thanks so much for joining us today, Stacy.
Thank you for having me. It's fun.
Tell us a little bit about Lewis Carroll.
Lewis Carroll was a bit of an odd bird, if you've ever read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland or Through the Looking Glass. He was one of a kind. He was kind of the leader in what was now known as nonsense verse. So and he was also much maligned by one of his early biographers, which has kind of perpetuated itself. It's been insinuated that he was his relationship with the child that the character Alice was based upon was less than proprietary, which is actually kind of the opposite. Carroll, whose real name is Charles Lutwidge Dodson, Lewis Carroll was his pen name.
Yeah.
So you learn something every day, right? He actually enjoyed many relationships with married and unmarried women. There is a chunk of his personal diaries and journals from the years 1858 to 1863 that were either heavily redacted or missing altogether. So it's been postulated by some other biographers that maybe his family didn't really want him to, in that Victorian era, to have the reputation of, a ladies' man, so it kind of backfired.
But he really was kind of a ladies' man.
He really was.
Oh,
he really was, and he was much more than a writer as well. He was a photographer, a mathematician, logician. Was also an Anglican deacon.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Well, let's talk about his books. What makes them so popular today?
That is a great question, because it really does span all ages. That it's not just for children. That many adults enjoy his literature as well. I guess at the time he was unparalleled. Nobody had written anything quite like this, and it was fun and fantastical and whimsical and all of that good stuff in an era where most literature was kind of dreary, heavy.
And it was unique. It was
right.
unique for its
absolutely
time. So, what is your favorite part of Lewis Carroll's writings?
Well, the Cheshire Cat is my favorite, of course. Because he always shows up just when you don't need him, and always has something to say that maybe shouldn't be said out loud. So Cheshire Cat has always kind of resonated with me.
So he has no kind of internal
no
mechanism
filter.
to turn it off.
No
filter whatsoever. Well, the library is recognizing Lewis Carroll's birthday. Now, how old would he be?
Let's see. He was born in 1832, in January of 1832, and he died in January of 1898.
Okay.
So,
how is the library recognizing his birthday?
Well, we have the display cabinet just outside of the children's department that has, if I may say so myself, a fantastic display, which is, I had a tremendous amount of fun doing it. That's one of my very favorite things. I can't believe y'all pay me to do it. And I probably should stop saying that, or you might decide to quit.
Oh, never.
It's just, it just had so much fun with it. There is also a blog entry on the WCPL homepage about Lewis Carroll.
And yes, tell the viewers, in case they don't know, the library does have a blog.
Absolutely, yes.
And they can access it through our website. And you will find all different kinds of entries.
From everybody from all the departments contribute to that. Lots of great entries from children's department, from reference, from tech services, from just pretty much everybody who wants to play can. So it's a great source for a lot of fun, unusual information.
And now, how long will the display be up?
I think I'll keep it up through the end of this month.
Through the end of this month. So viewers will want to come by and bring the kiddos to see it.
Absolutely, yes.
Now the library has numerous events for kids. Tell us a little bit about some of the events.
Well, some of our ongoing thing that is also one of my favorites is our Legos program. It's the first Saturday of every month from 3 to 4:30. This one will be February the 7th is our next one. And it's just freestyle. The kids come in. We provide all of the Legos, all of the building blocks, so nobody needs to bring anything from home. And the kids just use their own creativity and their own imagination. The sky's the limit.
And have a great time with it.
Absolutely.
And do you have sketches available so that the kids can kind of have a model
We
to go?
We do. We have some posters and some books that that they can use for guidelines or inspiration, but most of them just kind of do their own thing.
Do their own thing?
Yep.
What age group comes to these usually?
As young as 3 on up to about 10 or 11, and we've got 3 different sizes of blocks. We've got the the big Duplo blocks for the little ones to sit in the floor and build with, and then of course the on up to the insanely tiny little pieces that it's always fun to
Can
clean
drive
up
you
afterwards.
crazy trying to put together.
Absolutely, yes, yes.
And we also have story times.
We do.
And for preschool?
Preschool toddler times are Tuesdays at 10 and 11:15, and then Wednesdays at 10, and then Thursdays at 10. And then we do Snugglebug once a month, the 4th Friday of the month at 10 o'clock.
And that's for babies?
Yes, that's for the babies.
Oh, and they're so cute.
I know.
So cute.
I know. But you got to get them in there early.
Well, let's talk about briefly about the importance of parents reading to their kids. We were just talking about the baby story time. You really can't start too young.
Oh, sure. I mean, lots of folks read to their, expectant moms read to their kids when they're pregnant, and I think that's just fabulous. You really, truly, you cannot begin reading too early to your child. That just getting them engaged and getting their brains active and listening, it's a fabulous thing.
I also think it's good for children to see their parents reading.
Yes, yes, to model that behavior and to emulate them. Yep.
And I think when selecting a book to read to your child, I think it's important to have one that you enjoy.
Right, so that it's not a chore, because if the child gets any perception that, mom is really not digging this and that she'd rather, just wrap this up and go down the hall and watch a Walking Dead rerun, that is going to come through. So it is important to get something that engages both the parent and the child.
Well, if someone wants to find out more about our children's programs, they can log into our website. And what's our website address?
It's http:// you do this to me every time. WCPLTN.org.
And it has all of our children's programs listed, and young adult as well as computer classes for adults and that sort of thing.
Right.
Thank you so much, Stacy, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And I always enjoy. You're such a treasure. And we'll be right back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you like the show and will watch again soon. Also, I would like to thank our special guests for joining us. Children's staff, Stacy Parish, Fairview Branch Manager, Phillip McAndrew, and Chris Henson, Development Officer with Columbia State Community College. If you have any comments or suggestions for future programs, please contact me. The email address is notjustbooks@williamson-tn.org. You can also leave comments at the library's website at wcpltn.org. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/WCPLTN, and also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/WCPLTN. And until next time, explore your world and read.